Hello, good evening, everyone. Wait a minute. So, am I audible? So, I am taking this class. Sorry, guys, first of all, for this long delay. Actually, I am not feeling well from past few days, so that's why you can see that my voice is not clear and right now as well. But sorry, guys. So, we will continue our lecture from here. So, in the last class, what we have done? In the last class, we have worked on the HTML, right? We have worked on the HTML. So can anyone tell me what is the HTML we have seen? What are the use of our HTML? Like we have created a web page using HTML, and we have also applied some CSS there. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language. So we can say that HTML is the skeleton of our web page, right? We can say HTML is the skeleton of our web page, and we use HTML to structure the web page. What we have seen, or we can say what we see on a website, it is all structured by our HTML, right? And what is CSS? Cascading style sheet. So it represents, or we can say CSS helps us to design our web page, or to fill colors in it, to fill the structuring in it, or we can say to fill the uh, generate the UI for us. We use HTML to create a structure, and we use CSS to generate the styles like colors, background colors, or we can use fonts, we can use font families. So these are the things we use. We can do using CSS there, right? After that, what is a tag? Can anyone tell me what is the tag we used inside our HTML? We have tags, right? Like heading tags, paragraph tags. We have different kinds of tags which represent different kinds of section inside our HTML web page. Right? We have attributes. We can pass some attributes inside it. We can have like we have classes. We have ID. Using class and ID, style our we can style our HTML using class and ID. And we can also apply some features, or we can say using JavaScript. When we learn about the JavaScript, we can use those class and IDs to make our website more interactive. We can use those class and IDs to make our website more interactive. After that, we have HTML. And how we connect HTML and CSS? We use, we can have three things. We can write inline CSS. We can write inline CSS inside our HTML. We can use style sheet, or we can say we can create a separate style sheet for our HTML page, and we can put it into inside our head. After that, we can directly write the scripts, or we can say we can directly write our CSS inside our head tag, right? So these are the three parts we can, or we can say these are the three ways to use CSS inside our HTML. Then we have margin and padding inside our CSS. What are the margin and padding? We can say margin is the overall, or we can say boundaries we can set, but padding is the inner. uh, Using, when we are using margin, we can uh, give the space at the boundaries, or we can say in the outer circle of our, or outer layer of our box. But when we are applying padding, we are providing space at the inside the box, right? So these are the basic difference between margin and padding. Then Can anyone tell why we need CSS layout? What is the CSS layout inside our CSS? Can let me share my screen once. So we have something called as div, right? We have multiple divs. We have multiple divs. If I write div student and student one, command C, command command V. So we have these four students, right? We have these four students here. Now, if I want to put them into the, we can say, how do we put these cards side by side? If we have to put them side by side, how we can do this? How we can put these cards side by side? We have four cards. We have to put them side by side. Flex. We can use flex here, right? If we say we have a CSS or we have a student one, student is two, three, four, we can put them side by side using, or we can say using display property. We have display property, and inside this display property we can use flex. So we can create a flex box, or if we want to, but before flex we have block as well. We have another property named as display block. We will see that property first. If I write a div here and provide the, I will provide the class equal to box for each and every div. I will write box. I will write box here as well. I will write box here as well. Right. Now we can style it. We can style it. So how we will style a class here? Dot box, and inside this box we have background color. We have background color, and for it I will write something called light blue. Then after that I will give the padding. I will try to give the padding here. It will be 20 pixel. I will write margin here as well. I will provide some margin, and it can be 10 pixel, right? We can provide it. Now if we see this, how it is looking, how it will look. Mm, if I open this file, if we open this file, mm, there is anything we can do. Okay, so if we open this file, we have student one, student two, student three, student four here, right? We have four boxes we have created using, we just have provided margin. We have just provided margin and padding here. We have also provided the color here. Now what we have to do? Now what we have to do? We can provide, we can create a block. We can create a block. So what is this block? We can say we have a block. So what is this block? We have a block which will take the available width. We have a block which will take the available width here. So like we have div p h1 section, then we have inline, stays within the same line. We can write, if we write a inline at the box, or we can say display block and inline, so it will take, it will show into the same line. So we have inline block. We have something called as inline block here. Then inline block, then we have if I write if I write something, display block and display. If we write display block here, then what will happen? It will not, it will be same. It will take the width of our container. Then if I write inline block here, then we have inline block here as well. If we write this, what will happen? Our card will arrange in a single line. If we write inline block, our card will arrange in the single line. If I write only inline here, then if we write inline here, what it will do? It will be using only, it will be inline, but it is not taking full width of our area. It is not taking full width of it. But if we write a inline block, it will take the width, full width of our box. So this is the basic difference between this. Otherwise, what we can use, we have flex. So what is the flex? We have a flex box. What is this flex box? Using, instead of manually positioning every element, CSS gives us flex box to arrange elements easily, right? We have box 1, box 2, box 3 and box 4. So using flex box, we can directly manage these things easily by using, we can say, pos instead of manually positioning every element, we will use CSS property which is known as flex box. So for now, if I write a div, and here I will give the class container, and I will provide it like this. Actually, we already have a class name as container, so I will write it like a box container. Now, if we style it, and I will remove this part for now. I will write box container, and inside this I will write display flex. I will write display flex here. So we will provide some background color as well. We will provide margin and padding, and I will provide padding here. So our element is aligned in the single line, but we are not using any inline here. We are just written down here display flex. So what it will do? It, the children are now arranged horizontally. We have multiple childrens. Like for this, we have four childrens: box one, box two, box three, and box four. So each and every children will align in the same horizontally line. So if I write display flex, and we can also provide flex direction here. We have column, row. If I write row here, so what it will do? If we write row here, it will align each and every element in the single row. But if I write column here, then if we write a column here, it will align in the columns. We also have like something called as row reverse. We can use row reverse here. So if we write row reverse here, each and every element will be aligned in the reverse order from the right side. And if I write column reverse, it will arrange each and every element from the 1 to 4. First we have written in the inverted way, in columns, but in the inverted way. So we will have student 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Then we have some, if we remove this, then we have justify content. We can make our content justify. So we have multiple options inside this: center and flex start, last, left, right, space around, space between. So if I write space between, what it will do? What it will do? It will make space between each box with even spacing. So we have student 1, student 2, student 3, and student 4 here. Similarly, if I write, instead of a space between, I will write uh, center. If I write center here, then what will happen? Each and every element will align at center. So using this flex box, we can do, or we can say we can automate, or we can provide the properties for the CSS which will align, which will make alignment easier. We have, other than justify content, we have aligns items. So we can also use this. If we write center here, so it will align our uh, element at the center of our, or if I write something called start, so what it will do? When we are using align item centers, or we can say when we are using align item, it is aligning our data into the uh, vertical direction. Then we have a, so this is the basic CSS we have already discussed in the previous class, or we can say we haven't discussed about the flexbox, so I have discussed it in this class. But in this class we will more focus on the JavaScript, right? So let's start the session for the JavaScript. So these are the some basics of flexbox we have discussed here, or we can say block. Clear? So can anyone tell why we need JavaScript and what is the JavaScript here? Why we need it? Like this is our class, or we can say this is our page, right? But if I click on this, something will happen here or not? If we click on this, or I will click on anything here, will it do something, or it we can interact on that website? Right now we have used CSS, HTML till now, but can we do the login here? Can we do the login here if I click on the login? What if I have to enter my name? If we have a form here, if we have a form here, if we want to insert some value inside that form and push the submit button, will it do something? Will it do something? No. Using HTML, CSS, we can make static websites, but it cannot interact with functionalities. We cannot add functionality without JavaScript. To add functionality smoothly, we need JavaScript here. So using a static website, if we have to create a static website, we can use HTML plus CSS, which will give us a beautiful page, but no behavior. It doesn't have any behavior here. So when we use HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript, it has interactive form. We can interact with our website there, right? We can click button, we can show message. If we click on the login, validate username password. If we are using form, we can check input. If we are clicking on any button, change page content. We have APIs, we can get data from backend. So using JavaScript, we can manage each of these things easily. So what is the JavaScript? Can anyone tell me what is the JavaScript? if I create a file name as index.js, right? If I created a file name as index.js, so this is the JS file. When we try to create a file for JavaScript, we have to name it with .js extension here, right? So inside it we can write comments as well. We can, it is a full interactive programming language. We can say it is a programming language, or we can say JavaScript is a programming language used to add logic, is used to add logic and interactivity to web page. Is used to add logic and interactivity to our web page. uh, Rahman, you can check the playlist, or on the same channel you will get the previous lectures as well, where we have already covered about the Java part. We have seen the Java basics, we have seen the Spring Boot, and we have built the APIs using Spring Boot. So you can see or watch the lecture on the same playlist. I will also share the playlist in the description. Sorry, guys. So, can anyone tell me how we can use this JavaScript file inside our HTML? This is a JavaScript. It is a programming language, and inside programming language, we can write our logic. We can create interactivity to our web page. So, how it will help us to get the interactivity inside our index.html file? How we can add this index.jsl file inside our index.html file? Like when we need to add the style sheet, we can use directly like this. We can insert our style.css file inside our head. But how we will add this js file inside our html? So we can use a script inside our body. Inside our body we can write a script tag. We can use a script tag. See this, see the difference here. Whenever we try to use a style sheet, we are using link, and inside our head it is inserted inside our head. But whenever we need to insert the script, we will use it at the bottom and inside the body, right? Using this script tag, using script tag, we can easily insert our index.js file. And like this, we can insert our index.js file inside our html page like this. Inside, where it will be placed, it will be at the bottom of our body. It will be at the bottom of our body, right? So this is how we can insert our index.js file inside html file. Yeah, the case we can use JavaScript to validation as well. We can use JavaScript to write the logics. We can use JavaScript to write the to create the interactivity. And using JavaScript, we can also communicate with server as well. So there is multiple functions we can use using JavaScript. And why we are creating the separate files here? We can also write the javascript in the same file as well, but why we are creating separate files? Can anyone tell me? We have index.html, we have index.js, we have style.css. So why we are creating different files here? We have three things. We have index.html, we have index.js, we have we have three different files. But why we are using different files? So we can separate them, like in HTML file, we are just only writing our structuring part. And when we are writing the CSS file, we are doing styling here. And inside our JS file, we are writing our logic, right? So let's write. We have a we have a JavaScript file. Inside this, I will write basic thing, console dot log. What is this console dot log? It will help us, right? I can write it like this, hello JavaScript. So what it will do now, see this. If I inspect, if I do inspect here and show the console here and refresh it, so see this, we have hello JavaScript, we have hello JavaScript inside our console here, right? How it is, how we get the hello JavaScript here? Because we have inserted this index.js file inside our index.html, and we are calling this console.log. So what is this console.log? This is the print statement for our JavaScript. When we are using JavaScript, we have a console.log, and this console.log help us to print directly inside our console. So what is this console? This is the console, or we can say this is the console inside our web browser, where we can get the data of our JavaScript. Whenever we write console.log or we print something, we will it will be printed inside our console here. Clear? Is it clear why how we use console.log? So if I write, the console is one of the most important debugging tools you will use as a front-end developer, right? This is the console is the one of the most important debugging tools as a you use as a developer. Why we need debugging? Why we need the debugging here? What is this debugging? What is the debugging here? Why we write debug console logs, and why we need debugging tools to write the program? Let me show you something. If I don't confuse with these things, what is the let or what is the const? I will explain it later. So this is Rahul. I have created a let name Rahul. Then I have created the let age is equal to 22. Then I have created the let marks equal to 90, right? Now, if I have to check something, if I have written a condition inside our logic, if we have written a logic here, but it is not giving us accurate answer, it is not giving us correct answer. So what we can do? We can print that statement, or we can say like if I have a condition, if age equal to, or we can say age less than marks, or we can say if age is greater than marks. I know there is no comparison between age and marks, but for example, I'm saying if age greater than marks, print, we have to print something. For now, I will print console.log age is, or we can say person is too old. I will print anything here. So what it will do? Now, whenever we run this program, it will print that output here if it is satisfied. Our age is not greater than marks. That's why we will not get any output here, right? Now, see this, we got the output here. Person is too old, right? So why we used console.log to get the debugging? to debug our logic here. If I have to print something like uh, age equal to marks, then what it will print? If I write something like this, age equal to marks, it will return false. So if I have to check this condition, whatever it is returning to us, we can just print it inside our console log and we will get the exact answer why our code is failing. So that's why we use debugging tools for JavaScript or any other language. Now let's see, what is this let? What is this let? What is this let? Or you can say, what is this name, what is this age, what is this marks? We can say these are the variables. So what are the variables? What are the variables? Variables is a variable are the named parameters, or we can named storage location for a value. What are the variables? Variables are the named storage location for a value. Whenever we need to store some value inside our uh, code, we create variables. So these variables are used to store the values, or we can say these variables are used as the named storage location for our values. Clear? We have multiple types of variables. We can write, we can have let, we can have const, we can have var here. So these are the three types of variables supported inside our JavaScript. So what is the meaning of let? What is the use of let? We can say value can change here. If we are creating any variable using let, we can change its value later on. But if we write const here, if we write const here, value should not be reassigned. We can say value should not be reassigned here. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Why we cannot reassign value here? Because it becomes constant. We have created a constant which cannot be changed later on. So whenever we need some variables which will be changed after, or which value will be changed afterward, we use let there. But whenever we need to create some constant values, we use const here, right? So if I write, we have age, right? We have age here. If I write const here and later on I will try to change it using same thing, it will give us some error. So let's go to our page. See this, what we are getting here: unquote type error, assignment to constant variables. So what this means? It means that we are trying to assign or reassign the value to our constant variables. So if I make it let here again, will it give us any error? If I write something like this, will it give us any error here? Let's refresh. We will get 23, right? So this is the basic difference between let and const. Then we have where. So what is this where? What is this where? It is a older JavaScript syntax. We can say it is a older JavaScript syntax. We will generally use let and const, but it is the older JavaScript syntax which was used before, or we can say which was used before or earlier. So it is a older JavaScript syntax. We generally use, we mostly use let and const whenever we write code. Why? It has some bugs, or we can say it has some problems. That's why we switch to the let and const only. So developer more, or we can say developers fix it, or we can say developer mostly use let and const instead of where. They avoid to use of where here. So we have different data types, so we will discuss it in the next lecture, or whenever we learning about the let const scopes, or about it we will learn, we will definitely learn about it. But for now we have to know this, that let it can be reassigned. Whenever we are using let, value can change. If we are using const, value should not be reassigned. So this is the important part for us. So we have different of data types, right? We have different types of data types. What are the data types? What are the data types? Using data types we can assign values of different types. Similar to, we can say, string. We can have a string data, we can have numbers data, we can have float data, we can have decimal type of data, we can have boolean data, we can have null data. So these are the different types of data types. So if I write create let, we already have created, right? We have already created these things. So we have name, it has the data types of string, right? After that we have created number, or we can say we have already created the integer type of, or we can say number, right? If I write here 2390.7, so we have created a decimal value here, right? We have created a, use the data type of decimal, or we can say float or double. Then we can also assign something called as let result equal to null. So it can be a null data type. We can also create let is open equal to true. So this can be a boolean data type. So we can have different kinds of data type here, right? So but we don't have to define its type using directly here. We can just create our let or const, and our JavaScript will decide which type we are using. So we have string, number, boolean, null, and undefined. So if I write type of, if I write type of age, then what we will get? If I write type of age here, what it will print us? Let's see here. What we get? Number here, right? We got number here. If I write now, now also we will get number here. Why? Because each of these types are number inside our JavaScript. Clear? So if we write a decimal point here, it will also be called as number inside JavaScript. Then we have operators. So what are the operators? We have operators. What are the operators? We can have multiple types of our operators, like logical operators, arithmetic operators. We can have boolean operators as well. We can have multiple operators. So for now, if I write let a equal to b, oh sorry, a equal to 10, and let b equal to 5 here, right? I have written down let a equal to 10 and let b equal to 5. We have created two numbers, a and b. So we can use all arithmetic operators here. So what kind of arithmetic operators we can use? If I write log, and inside this I will write a plus b, so it will be addition operator, or we can say plus operator. We have Similarly we have a minus b, we have subtraction operator here. After that we can create some multiplication, we can do multiplication, we can do divide, and we can also do modulus operator. So what is the difference between divide and modulus? What is the difference between modulus and divide? Whenever we are using modulus, it will give us remainder. What it will give us? It will give us remainder, right? And so for this output will, or for the a divided by, we will get output as 2, and for it we will get output as 0 here, right? Because we have divided our 10 by 5, so it will give us 2 here, and for a modulus b it will give us remainder which will be 0, right? Then we have comparison operators. So what are the comparison operators we can have? uh, Log a is greater than b, right? We can write it a is greater than b. We can have multiple comparison operators, a is less than b. Then we have a equal to b. Then we have a is not equal to b. We can write, we also have a equal to b. So we, what is the difference between this equal and this equal? What will be the output of it? First, a is 10, b is 5. So what will be the output here? True, right? After that we have a is less than, so we will get false here. Then we have a equal to b, so we will also get here false. Then we have a is not equal to b, then we will get true here, right? For this, what we will get here? For this, what we will get here? Until now we will get true, false, false, then true. Now what we will get for this? A triple equal to b. Mhm. What we will get? True here, right? Oh, sorry, true. We will get false here. Clear? If I write, we will get true, false, false, true, false. And here we will get 15, 5, 52, 0. So these are the outputs we will get. So what is the difference between equal to and triple equal to? It compares, it also compares data type or type of our. So that's why we use, or we can say it is the triple equal to is the strict comparison. It will do strict comparison, and when we are using double equal to, it will be loose comparison for us. We will see this in the some conditions, but for now, see this, it will do the strict comparison, it will, and double equal to will be do the loose comparison. After that, we can create a function, we can write if else conditions. There have conditions as well. We can write conditions. So what can be conditions? If else, right? If I have marks, if I write, if marks is less than equal to, or marks is greater than equal to 40, I will write log pass. Okay. Then we have another condition, else, and inside this else I will write fail, otherwise fail that student. We can write it. So if we check it, we will get pass here. Why? Because our marks is greater than equal to 40. And then we also have else if as well. If I use else if I write else if, and if I write 90 here, and this will be A, we will write B, and inside else if we can also provide the condition here. So what will be the condition? Marks is greater than equal to 75. We will provide give the B grade. Then we can write another else if condition here. So greater than 60, we will provide the C grade here. Otherwise, otherwise, what we will do? We will just write FAI in fail here. So here we will get the A because our marks is greater than 90. Clear? Clear? That's why that's how we can use if else here. Inside our JavaScript, we can also write functions. Inside our JavaScript, we can also create functions. These are the conditions we have already discussed inside our Java classes, right? When we are learning about the Java, we have already seen how we can write if else if, and what are the variables we had, and how we create the functions. So these will be same for us. Now if I need to create the function inside our JavaScript, how we will create it? We just have to write function here, and then function name, then we can provide params. So what are these params? Can anyone tell what are these params? Like if I have created a greet function and inside it I have passed name, so we have already created the name here, right? So I have passed the name here, and I will write log, and inside this I will write hello plus name. So what we are doing here, we are concatenating two strings. We have two strings, one is hello, second one is name. What we are trying to concatenate them into a single string. Clear? So it will print us hello, and what the name, it will print it. So how we will call it? We will write greet and call it here. So if I print it, we will get hello undefined. Why? Because we haven't passed any name inside it. We haven't passed name inside it. So how we will pass the name? We will write name here. Now, if I refreshed it, we will get hello Rahul. Why we get first? Why we first get the name as undefined? Because we have uh, inserted it inside our function definition, but we haven't defined, or we can say we haven't defined it inside our as an argument here. When we are calling this function, we are not providing name. That's why it is giving us undefined. If I remove this name, if I remove this name from here, and if I remove this name here, it will print Rahul. Why why now it is printing Rahul? We have removed the name here because it was checking first this name. It was checking for this name. If we haven't defined any name here, it will take this name from our global context. You can say we have a big basket, and inside this basket we have small baskets, right? So this function will act as a small basket for us, and inside this basket we have defined some name. So it was first looking for that name, but for now we haven't defined any name here, so it will look for that name outside of small basket and inside the large basket, which will be our whole program here, right? So we can say this can be a type of context here we get. So using that context, we can define our variable inside different scopes. So what we call this? This is the parameter here. This is the argument here. Clear? Is it clear? Why we use argument, why we use parameter, and why first it is giving undefined and now it is giving the correct answer. Now we will try to create another function. We have to define function here. We can write a comma b, and using this I will return a plus b. So whenever we need to call this function, what we can also create a result variable here, and using this variable I can pass the values 10 comma 20, and it will give us the result. What it will do, we have used return here, so that's why it will return the summation of a plus b, and we can get this return value inside our, we can store this return value inside our result variable. So if I print this result, oh, sorry, result here, we will get the correct value for it. Okay, we have already this uh, okay, we have already defined it earlier, so that's why it is saying that result is already defined. Now what we will do, we will just reassign the value inside our result and rerun this command. So what we will get, 30 here. Clear? 10 plus 20, it will stored inside our result and we have printed that result. Clear? Now we have a doubt how this JavaScript will help us. Now we should have a doubt that how we will use these functions or these things we can do in the Java as well. Then why we are doing here? How it will help us to manipulate our index.html, or how to manipulate our web page here, right? This will be basic question for us. So how we will do this? Because these kind of things we are doing in Java already, then why we need JavaScript, right? This will be basic question for us. So why we need JavaScript to make our test web page interactive? Now how we will make that web page interactive? We have created a student management system. We can say we have created a page where we have written like student management system inside our heading. We have created button, we have created this visit website button as well. So using these things, what we will do, we have, now we have a DOM. What is the DOM here? This is called as DOM. What we are seeing inside our web page, we it is, or it is the DOM part. So if I show you HTML part, it is this HTML part, or where we are selecting it, it is called as DOM, document object model, right? So we can manipulate this DOM structure using JavaScript. So how we will manipulate it? We will create a let heading, right? And inside this, I will write document dot mm, element by ID, and inside this I will write, we have an element, and I will provide an ID here, title. Then we will go to here and write title here. So we will get the title here. Now I want that my whenever I want, it will change. We want to change that title using our JavaScript here. So how, what we will do? Heading. We will use heading here. Then inner text. We have something called as inner text here. And inside this, I will write welcome to JavaScript and refresh this. So what it will do, it will select that ID, it will capture that ID and update the data what we want to see here. See this, initially what we are getting here, we are getting the value from student management system. But our data cannot be static for our website, right? If we have a website, its data should can change. We can change our data, right? So according to the condition, we can manage it using our JavaScript. So if I write, if marks is less than 90, change the heading you failed. Else we can do, else I will write congratulations, you passed, right? Inside our JavaScript, we can have multiple dynamic data. We can have multiple dynamic data. So whenever I am getting marks less than 90, I am showing, or we can say less than 40 dal dete hain. If marks is less than 40, we will printing you failed there. But if our data marks is greater than 40, it will print congratulations, you passed. So what we will get here? Congratulations, you passed. So that data can be dynamically changed according to our need, right? Or we can say according to our logic. So this is the document object model, and how we will access this document object model. We can use document here, and using that document we can target an ID, we can target an class, we can target a class. And for here what we have done, we have targeted our element by ID, right? So if I write how our DOM created, we have HTML here, right? Then we have browser which creates DOM. Our browser will create DOM. Then we have JavaScript. It will create DOM. We have JavaScript there. Then using JavaScript can access change element, right? Using JavaScript we can access change element here. We can write it like this, right? Using HTML. Using HTML, what we can do? Using HTML, we can create a browse DOM, and browser will, we can write a HTML code. Using that HTML, our browser create a DOM, and using JavaScript, we can access that DOM and change element inside our DOM here. Clear? Using JavaScript, we can also change CSS. Using JavaScript, we can also change CSS. How we will do this? How we can do this? Let, we have already selected the heading here, right? Now what I will do, heading dot, in the same code I will write you failed, so it should be seen as red, right? We have printing a message of you failed here, right? So it should have the color of red. So how we will do this? I will write heading dot style dot color, and I will write red here. Otherwise it should be, otherwise it should be green. For this it should be green here, or refresh this. So what we have seen, congratulations you passed, and it has the color of green. So we can also manipulate our CSS using JavaScript. We can also update our CSS using JavaScript as well. We can also create event using button. For this button, what we can do, this is the button, right? So we can click on it, but for now it will not giving us any we haven't written down any logic here, so we cannot interact with this button, right? Whenever I am click on it, it is not doing anything. So what I will do, what I will do I will we have button here, right? So I will target that button. I will target that button using button equal to document dot get element by id, and inside this I will write button, and uh, what I will do, mm, I will create a event. What is the event? What is the event inside our JavaScript, or we can say what do you understand by event? Event, we can say event is the something whenever something is changing, or we can say whenever we do something and it will change anything, so it is called as an event, right? So what are the event we are doing here? We are clicking on it, right? So if I write uh, let change text, I have created a let change text, and it is, or I will write is passed, right? I will write is passed. It will be false for by default, and I will pass this here, right? If is passed is true, it will show us congratulations you passed. If it is false, it will show us you failed in red style, right? See this? Congratulations you passed. Uh, we have changed this. We will print it. We will check why we are not getting the red color here. So inside console, it is giving us false. Okay, it is giving us false. Okay. We have right is past false, and it should be equal to. We can write false, right? If I check if is past equal to false, we will print you failed. Otherwise, we will print congratulations you past here. So what we are seeing here, we are getting you failed here. See why we need a debugger here, or why we need console here to debug the logic, right? Like this, we are stucking. Why we are getting the congratulations you passed? Because we haven't passed. We are checking condition invertly. So we have written write down the condition is passed equal to false. So we will get failed, and if it is true, it will print congratulations you passed here, right? Now we will make a event for our button, right? We have a button here. Now I want that whenever we click on that button, it will change our text, right? So what I can do, button dot event listener, event spelling, what will be the add event list any listener, and inside this I will pass my event as click. Whenever we click on that button, what I want to call this function will be uh, I will write function, and I will not pass any params here. I will write a simple function here, and using that function, what we will do, document simply is, I will change the value of each past, right? How we will change the each past value, equal to not is past. What I am doing here, what I am doing here, whenever we click on that each button, this button, what we will get, our each past will change to the fail. Mm. And we have changed each past there, right? And we can also change mm, button dot inner text equal to pass, and I will write button dot inner text equal to fail, right? And inside this index.html we have button. Where is our button here? This is our button, right? So I will change it to the pass. Clear? So we have pass here, we have pass here, we have a student management system here, we have pass here. If I click on this, uh, cannot read add event listener for the properties of null. So why it is happening here? Add event listener to the button and get element by id button. Okay, we haven't provided id here. See this, we haven't provided id here for button, so that's why it is showing us we cannot add event listener for properties of null. Now see this, we have pass here. If I click on this, it is not doing anything. See what is wrong, we can see it. Function is passed, we have changed, and we will move this condition. We will just move this condition here. Now recheck it, pass, fail. Now see what is happening here. Now see what is happening here. We are changing our title using this button. If I am clicking on it, fail, it will show us you failed. If I click on it, pass, it will show us congratulations, you passed. So see this, using JavaScript we can create our page as dynamic, we can make our page dynamic. This is changing on our click event, it is changing on our click event. So this is the use of our JavaScript. Using that JavaScript we can easily, or we can say using JavaScript we can easily do or pass dynamic data, correct? So that's why we use JavaScript here. Clear? So basic of JavaScript is clear to all of us. We have seen some things inside our JavaScript like name, how to create variables, how to use operators, and how to pass the conditions, how we create a function, how we will manipulate our headings, buttons, text using our document.getElementById, and how we can add event listener using dot event listener, like click. There can be other events as well, like click, hover, there can be multiple events, right? So using JavaScript we can provide, or we can make our web page interactive. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? Clear? So these are the some basics we have understood in this class. From tomorrow we will have class at 7 p.m. Okay, from tomorrow we will have class at 7 p.m. and we will see about JavaScript other parts, like we will try to create a web page using JavaScript, and we will make it interactive, like submit a form or something like this. Clear? So have a good night, everyone. This is all. That's all for today. We will cover other part of JavaScript in the next class. Any doubt in this? What we have done today? I'm not uh, teaching more than this because it can be. Uh, you will you will not be able to understand everything in the same class. So I am leaving other things for the next class as well. Clear? We will see what we have to do in the other class. Thank you, guys. If anyone have any doubt, they can directly ask me in the comment section. I will try to reply everyone. So let's end this meeting.